So if you have an existing Nvidia 40 series GPU, let's say if you jumped on the bandwagon and upgraded, as is normal with any generation, what does it mean for values of your GPU now that the new super refresh is out? You may be saying, obviously, anytime a new GPU comes out, you can expect the price of the old one to go down, and that's normally true, but it's a weird retail market. That's why I think it's important for owners and people looking to get a new GPU should watch and really kind of make an assumption about what's going on, because it's not really that easy to see. If you take a look at some listings, even if you go to like a local store like we have in the US, a Micro Center, they still have the old versions like a 4070 Ti next to a 4070 Ti Super. Sometimes the pricing overlaps because there hasn't been enough time yet for discounts to happen, but we are seeing discounts. Let's talk about the 4070 Ti. Obviously, it's been replaced by the 4070 Ti Super, and there's a pretty significant difference in terms of the VRAM, 12 to 16. Now, from benchmarks, it's not going to be as evident. Like, it's not like it's a huge leap unless you're really, going to be bound by the memory issues. But overall, they seem to perform, within a few percentage points fairly close to each other. So here, you're really looking at that extra VRAM as the most enticing option. And now let's hear a word from our sponsor, VIP-CDKdeals.com, a Windows 10 Pro CD key. Add to cart, you put in code CC20. This will also work on Windows 11. You want to go into your settings in Windows, change and adjust your CD key, click activate, and now let's go back to the video. So it appears like the 4070 Ti is definitely going down in price, like $699. That's what we could consider probably its MSRP. And then when you look at the 4070 Super at $599 or 4070 Ti at $699, then it becomes a little bit more of a murky area. I happen to have tested a 4070 Super, and it gets really close to a 4070 Ti, so I'd rather save the $100. You're basically having the same amount of VRAM at 12, and the rasterization performance is going to be pretty close. Remember, the 4070 Super does have more CUDA cores than the regular 4070. So in that case, I really would almost rather just save the extra 100. Then I think the harder question is, if you're at $699, do you go to $799 and get the 16 gigabyte Super? I think if you find it for $799, probably is a good idea, because you're going to be a lot more future-proof with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. As ray tracing becomes more important, as higher resolutions become more usable, I think it's going to be a much more salient point to go up to more VRAM. Of course, the performance isn't a huge difference right now, but I think that extra VRAM will certainly help. And then talking about the 4070 and the 4070 Super, the 4070 itself has been getting closer to that $500 mark, and that's where it starts to really compete with the 7800 XT. If you're after pure rasterization performance, it makes a lot of sense, if you can save a lot of money, to go with that 7800 XT. Now, if it's close to the 4070, then it's a little bit harder to judge, because the 4070 has been going down in price. Your existing GPUs certainly will. If the 4070 is still going for over $500 or close to $500, it doesn't mean you'll be able to sell yours for that and upgrade. It's probably going to take a hit on the secondhand market as well. The other interesting GPU, obviously, is the 4080 Super. Now, this one has been a little bit harder to find at its $999 MSRP. Even if, obviously, the Founders Edition sold out pretty quick, but even the AIB models that traditionally are a little bit easier to find at $999 certainly has been a little bit tougher to track down. Now, it's not exactly Nvidia's highest end GPU, because you have the 4090, but it's the next best thing, and it's a little bit faster than everything else. It's basically the same performance as a 4080. This is the one that had the least amount of increase. The interesting thing here is really the $200 price drop, but if you have to buy an AIB model that's almost the price of what you can get a 4080 for, or a little more, then it does become a little bit more murky. So I think most of the actions going on from the 4070 Ti Super and below, down to that level of the 4070, that's where it's really close in terms of performance. There are a lot more benefits there to be aware of. The 4070 Ti Super is now basically kind of like a 4080 Lite, if you will, since it has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and the performance, while it's not nearly anywhere close to a 4080, it's not like it went up in performance like the 4070 did. It's certainly a lot closer than it used to be. So Definitely pretty murky, but secondhand prices are going to be lower. Pricing is going down. This isn't yet, I think, the peak or the best scenario for gamers, but it's certainly heading in the right direction. All right, guys, let me know what you think down below. Are you keeping a close eye on pricing? Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.